This conference will now be recorded.
You're able to see the screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we good to start. Do you have any questions from yesterday's class?
No, yesterday I was working on something like more
Okay.
specific to our system. So
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So you have got an idea of how this Tmap works, right? We would go with more examples on the Tmap.
yeah, that
So
sounds good.
yeah. That would be the heart of our ETLs. Has the recording started? Okay, it's started. Okay. So let me give you a few examples of the other components that we can use, like say job D5 convert joins. No, let me know if you need a copy of these jobs so that I can give you the extract of the jobs. You can import it and you can test it on your machine.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that afterwards.
Okay. So as I said, like Tmap is the superset of most of the components. Like say for simple transformations, what we could do is there's a T file input, and if we look at its schema, let us see what are the schemas we have. It is you have one float, two floats. Okay. So basically, when you wanted to convert the data types, say for instance from integer to string or float to string or string to big decimal or any sort of conversions can be done by TConvertType.
Okay.
So the component called TConvertType, when you connect to this component, it would again like you could sync the columns and you could just say autocast and go to edit schema, and you could define these values as say the sale price. Let us say it as a int and let this float be a string. And you could write it to a T file output. Already we have few T file outputs here. Let me copy one from there. Okay. Again, sync the columns. We just say like D5 converted. Let us see what happens when we do this. Okay, 700 records have got reflected. So let us go to our day 5. This converted file. So let us see what the input file is. Input file is sample extract. Let us open the sample extract in Excel. Okay. The unit price, we left it at string. That's the reason. I think we did it vice versa. I wanted to change that into to float. So let this thing be float, and let me change this other unit sold as a integer. Okay, let's reload it. Unit sold is 1618. So when you go to Excel and see, so you have 1618.5, right? When we convert it to integer, the decimal points have been taken out.
Okay.
And this being the input as 20.0 as a string, it has converted as a string, and it would still remain as 20.0. So you could play around with this component, like what are the other things that you can start converting. Say you can work out an example, like say there is a country, it's a string. You try and convert that string into a big decimal or a float or something, and try running it, and that would definitely fail. Unless it has, if you want, if you're trying to convert from a string to a big decimal, it would see. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
It has failed. Excuse me. Unless this big decimal, unless this value for this particular column in the input has, unless we have a value for country in the numerics, it would definitely fail. So this is more about the conversions from one data type to other data type, but mostly it would be for the date types and your uh, date, and you're from integer to string, integer to strings, or integer to float, or float to string. Mostly we would play around with the strings. So let us do this. This date input, let us read it as a date, and how do we have that format? Let us check the format. What we have is ddmmyy. Okay, so ddmmyy. So output, we will say that I would need it as a date, but I would like to convert it. So it should be converted to the default things. We would remove them. Say, like, let us convert it to y and td. compile errors. Edit schema. That's a date and we're trying to default it. We don't need that default now. The convert type, did we convert it? Let us see. This YY DDMM. This is YYMMDD. Okay, now let's run it. So the job has run. Let us load the same file again. The date has converted to our normal date format. So these conversions can be done in many ways. There are components like these are the ready-made component that we have for converting. But what we could do is we could write a simple Java code in a component like tjava, tjava row. In the tjava row, you could say like input load date is equal to input load date. You could, if you are familiar with Java, you could write a piece of code that would convert from one format to another format and write it to an output file. So you have tjava row, you have tjava. There are a couple of components that can be used for the same purpose. It depends on the developer on based on his comfortability or the or based upon the requirement. It could be on the performance level. So on the performance level, we would always prefer to use these Java components instead of the ready. I mean, instead of the ready components like your TConvertType. So another main important component what we have is Tjoin. So coming to Tjoin, like we have many join types, right? Shall we jump on to these joins where we actually do the lookups on the multiple tables, or do you want to go with some of the other basic components?
Let's do the joins.
Okay, let's do the joins. So for joins, we have multiple components. Like now that it is being a standard job, we can use tjoin. Number one is T. Oh, sorry, it's a tjoin. Two, we can use Tmap. Three, we can use TSQL row, which is only available in the Enterprise Edition. Enterprise Edition, where as a big data batch. Under the big data batch components. So basically the tjoin will support simple join between two tables, and tmap would support multiple joins. So let us get to an example of this tjoin. So we have country, segment, product, discount. So okay, Okay. Now this column we have something called discount band, right? We have all the values as none. So let us create a use case scenario where Canada will have a discount of certain percentage, and Germany would have a discount of certain percentage in another table. So let us create a table called discount, right? So this table, country and discount. So we have Canada, Germany, France, Mexico, Canada, Mexico, Germany, United States, and France. There are about 5 countries that we know of. Okay. We have France, Germany, one extra. We have Mexico, we have one extra. We have Canada, one extra. Mexico, Germany, Canada, United States of America. Then let's create the discount band here. It's separated by a pipe. Let all things separated by a pipe. Say France has 30%. Okay, let us put it. Mexico has 25%. Germany has 40%. Canada has 18%. Let's say the boss has got about 45%. So let us save this as on the desktop. We have day 5 as discount data .dat. So now what we would do in our job is we would read this file, we would look up with this discount table and populate the values under the discount band. Instead of the discount band as none, we look up with this other table and we would populate the values. So let us ignore that component TConvertType. T file input delimited. And this has, excuse me, this has day 5. I have a discount data and I need to know the schema. So we have country and we have discount. So now whenever you attach to a Tjoint, so this would basically say, is the screen visible or is it too small? Mitch?
Sorry, I was muted. No, I can still see it.
Okay. So whenever you do a initial connection like row 1, the main would be your left table always and your lookup would be your right table. So what would happen is if you delete this row and this connection and start connecting it from here, if you say main and connect it here, the first one would be always the main and the second one would be always, even if you say main and connect it, it would always be a lookup. So this is where you would identify whether it's a lookup or it's a main. What you can do on these connections is when you click on it and right click, you could say that set this connection as main and this would be automatically converted to a lookup.
Okay.
So now that we have a main file and now we have a discount table, let us go and see how the joining conditions are written. Okay, we have include lookup columns in the output because we need those lookup columns in the output, right? So we would just say include lookup columns in the output. When you say edit schema in the Tjoin, there is your input file and this is your lookup file.
Okay.
Mm, just hold on, I must take a call. Okay, sure. Okay, so we want like all the columns from the input. Mm, and if you want all the columns from the output, you could just select and drag drop them here. You can just move them here. So these two columns would be populated. So wherever there is a join. Hello.
Yep.
Or you could ignore this country from the input and just populate the discount here. Let us see what happens now. So the output column is, say the output column is our discount band and we want to populate our discount in this column.
Mm-hmm.
This definition is wherein you would give the actual lookup condition. This is the key attribute and this is your country. Okay. Now let's run this to a output file. Sync columns and we would say simple join.dat. Has got some compile errors. Cannot convert from float to string. Yes. So we have defined this discount band as a float. Where is this float to string? Let us compile here. So click on this part. Units sold. Segment is segment product. The mapping has gone the discount. What has it done? 1 second, let us fix that. Let us fix that. Unit sold is getting mapped to discount band, but why is mapped to products? Designer, sync columns. It's let me delete them. Let me select. Let me get all of them correct. Yes. From input. Let me move this. Yes. We have all the 700 records populated, and let us open a simple join. Okay. Your discount is not populated because you could see the date the discount is not populated. What could be the reason? 1 second.
I actually have to drop off for a meeting here right now at 10.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right then. So we'll continue the class tomorrow.
On Monday.
Yeah, on Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, I'll talk to you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.